I almost forgot to put this back. There we go.
Pump up some bass.
And I'm back. Yes, I'm back. This is your host, Seta. I am back. Anyways, 2256. It's got about 2,500 miles since we did the cylinders. Yeah, 2,600 miles already. We just did the oil change on it yesterday. And we did have a little bit of a still metallic flake in the oil. But that's perfectly normal because the cylinders were, they're honed. So it usually goes away at around 1,500 to 2,000 miles. But you have to keep changing the oil to get it out. So I just changed it out and now it's got clean on. She's dirty as F because this thing is a daily driver. I mean, look at it. It is dirty. Does it get any dirtier than this? Actually, it could get worse. I mean, look it up here. It just looks like crap. Not burning any oil. I realize these are AA pistons, and they are notorious for burning oil. Okay, not seating properly. But remember, I babied this when I installed it. Okay, I was driving like Miss Daisy. I swear, I was driving really, really slow, accelerating very, very slow, allowing the cylinders to seat. Yeah, I've heard the rumors or comments of other builders that say that no, you can, beat the crap out of it. Once you change the oil after you turn it on, you run it for 30 minutes, you change the oil, and you beat on it, right? Well, yeah, but then you just effed up all the rings. They're not going to seat right. So, of course, that's my theory. You get your own theory. My engines don't burn oil, okay? Almost never. If I do the ring jobs, and the honing and all that stuff, my engines don't burn oil, okay? On average, I might burn half a quart every 5,000 to 6,000 miles, okay? That's on average because I have a specific way I build my engines with the rings up, not down. Otherwise, you'll burn a lot of oil. Watch my other videos when I was building it, okay? It'll make sense. I'm actually going to change the mains. I've got maximum power, okay? I'm making maximum power on this engine with these new cylinders, 2256cc. I'm thinking I'm tuning down and going for fuel economy. It's too bad these carburetors are not really friendly, okay? It's either you tune for power or you tune for fuel mileage. Okay, you got to choose either one. It will not do both. Will not do both. These IDFs, these are IDF 44s with 32 millimeter Venturis. Okay, I got 57 millimeter idles, and I've got the mains are 130 on the mains. Air correctors at 200. My idles are 57s. Okay, 57s. You could get those at AA Performance. You can get them any size, really. I think you can get 58s also if you really want. They're really cut to to really fine tune, or you can go in 5s. But going in 5s kind of it might put you slightly inside the window, but you're still kind of outside, meaning that it'll run okay, but it'll stink like shit. Your exhaust is gonna stink like shit. So I just fine tuned it, figured out that 57s were perfect. I got 56s that I ordered from AA, and it runs really good after the engine is warm. Okay, 55s, when I tried to run it, it runs like shit when the engine's cold. I mean, like shit. But once it warms up, it runs fine. So I was like, okay, so I need to just go a little higher, so I went 57s on the idles. And that seems to be perfect. It starts kind of a little bit like shit, but it kind of goes away within five to 10 seconds. It just smooths out. Okay. But it does start like shit. IDFs, they're a piece of shit. I don't care if they're clones or if they're original. They're a piece of shit. When the engine's cold, they're a piece of shit. It's the nature of the beast. That's just, you're gonna have to live with it, okay? There's no getting around it when the engine's cold. Yeah, so we're gonna take the the mains on these out. I'm gonna go 128s or 127s. Oh, where have I been, right? I've been doing a lot of work. I've been too busy. The garage has been too freaking hot to really do anything. It's just too freaking hot. This is the hottest year we've ever, that I can remember in 10, 15 years. The hottest year in my garage is pretty much useless. We're in a cold spell right now in the middle of summer, so this is actually kind of weird. So I think top temperature is going to be like 93. So I'm able to be out here for a couple hours before it gets too hot. But look at my garage. I went ahead and cleaned all this stuff, and I did clean the walls because OCD got to me. This stuff is just, projects like I did this, including that, because my garage looked like shit when I bought the house. So I did that. My wife helped me with this, putting the one up here. She actually helped me with that, but basically I did all this, and this is all perfectly insulated. Same thing up there, perfectly insulated. That wall is also insulated. So, yeah. I do stuff like that. I do it. Man, there's nothing I can't do when I put my mind to it. And I know you guys can't too. So, so I'm thinking of adding an AC system right here, actually. Because it's worthless in here. It's completely worthless in the summer. I can't do anything. Look at it. It's completely different. What? Even my window. Yeah, I'm so dyslexic, man. My door, she's white. Completely painted it because it looked like shit. That's embarrassing, actually. My kitchen cabinets are up here because I remodeled the kitchen, but you already knew that. Yeah. And no, that's not just for show. That we actually did bend the rod on the turbo GTI. The MK2 GTI, 89 GTI 2-liter turbo. Yeah, boom. So then we got H rods, and what caused this actually was the head gasket had a piece of metal that broke off a little bit, kind of like a little thorn inside the cylinder. So that thing was getting hot, and it pre-detonated and got bluey. That happened. Shit happens. Well, that wasn't my motor. We didn't build that motor, so that whatever. And look at what happened to my. And made it out of metal now, so now it looks decent. Finally. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm gonna go ahead and remove those right now, and we're gonna downsize. Yeah, I got real Venturis now. The ones that I made were working fine. I just that these were $6 a piece at CB Performance, and they just look a lot better. So, but anyways, these are made out of aluminum, and you might have to do some trimming to get the filter to go and seep, to seat all the way down. Because what will happen is this edge right here will end up being on top of there, on that edge, well, over here. But that edge right there, it'll seat on there and it will not seal, so you'll be sucking nothing but dirt. Yeah, they're working really good. So anyways, but I'm just man, that is tight. Okay, let's get started. I got all my jets out, as you can see. Okay, this is the I had to remachine these. These are original Webers, okay? Original Webers are actually thicker from right here, so I had to kind of like use a file. I'll put this in my drill press and use the file to make them thinner, so that the original Chinese top part would go in there. Otherwise, you'll never get it on there because this is super thick. So they're not the same. So you would have to order these from CB Performance also, together with the emulsion tubes. Okay, this emulsion tube is now original Weber part, okay? It's not a Chinese thing. They're not the same. The drillings, especially right here. I don't know if you can see that. Those drillings right there. Let me grab something pointy. These drillings right here are the only thing that are not the same. Can you see that? Yeah, you probably can. Right there. Those right there, right on that edge, they're not the same. The Chinese ones are about, maybe 1.5 mm, maybe 2 millimeters higher. Okay, so that gives you a completely different fueling on your Chinese clones. So they will not work the same. And you want original part. Get your emulsion tubes from CB Performance. You can get them from there. Okay, that's what I did. I got an F11. F11. It's upside down. There you go. Whatever. So I'm not going to remove anything. Like, I'm not going to remove the air corrector. I'm going to leave the main inside here. What I'm doing is actually I'm going to solder it shut and then re-drill it. Okay. Look, I know there's out there anal individuals out there that are, oh, I would never do such a thing. You know, whatever, dude. If you believed the man that only a machine can calibrate these, hey, more power to you. This is fuel, okay? Fuel. It does not have any air when it goes here. You know, fuel bowl is, you know, coming in, feeding. Okay, it doesn't have any air. Therefore, there's going to be zero compression of the fuel. Okay, the orifice is so big, and it's only going to allow so much liquid to go through it. Okay, it's not going to make any difference. Now, different story on this side. Air corrector. That will have a difference, okay? Because it's all about the shape. You know, if you have a Venturi or a stack, you know, like a stack, a Venturi effect right here. Okay, that will compress air. Okay, you will have more airflow. Okay, so air corrector, they are correct, 100%. Mains and idles, they're full of shit. They're just telling you the truth on this, okay, and applying it to this so that you buy more jets from them. That is my opinion. My opinion. Do not go anal on this. Moving on. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and solder it shut. So what I like to do personally, I always grab my drills and I grab some of this. But first I'll drill it out so I have new surface so that the solder will stick really nice. Then I use what's it called? Flux. I use the flux and I'll dab it in so that the solder flows nice and you know, and even. You have perfect surface to drill with. You know, you don't have air pockets in there. So turns out that I am already running 1/28. Can you even see that? You can barely see it. 128 millimeter. Okay, I'm already running that. Yeah, it's like I didn't know. I had no idea. Let me grab this. 1/28, right? Okay. Yeah, that's 1/28. Okay. There you go. 1/28. So what we's gonna do, we're actually gonna drop it. Okay. What I'm thinking is this, because I don't know what the amount of fuel that's in the fuel bowl, the height of the fuel bowl, you know, the fuel amount. I do not know what that's supposed to be. I might have more fuel in there, which is making this size rich, okay? But I'm not going to screw my fuel floats on those IDFs because those are a mother to set up, and I just don't want to mess with it anymore. So I'm just going to drop down these to 125s. That 125s. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and solder these, and then we're gonna re-drill it. Okay, with this new drill, new size. See, this is the way you fine-tune your engine. Okay, we're not okay right now. We're not tuning for power anymore. Okay, I could care less about the power anyways, because the motor is not that extremely fast. like the blue. Like blue's gonna be with that 2234 single carburetor. You know, 34 pick 3 carburetor, no Venturi. That thing is a beast, okay? My Porsche is a 2056 cc, so it's basically a 2 liter, just a hair bigger. You know, it's got a stock cam, so yeah, whatever. It doesn't pull as fast. It's not as much fun, so it brings a smile to my face. But I'm not tuning for power on greenie, so we're just gonna go for fuel economy because fuel is getting freaking expensive, man. Man, is it getting expensive. I got, okay, flux, and I'm doing this to cut the surface so that it cuts it. Once it cuts it, I know that the solder is going to flow really good. Get any of the crap out of there that is not going to allow the solder to flow. I'm going to do it the old school, the other way, is it gives me a little bit more. I'm using a punch because there's a reason for it, actually. And I had forgotten about it until I was about to solder. So it's got a little point. See that little point right there? Okay. Well, that point kind of centers that hole right in there. Keeps the solder from coming out and making a huge mess back here. So. Okay, what kind of solder, right? You can use plumbing solder. You can use plumbing solder. It's not a, you know, whatever. I'm using electronic solder. Okay. Kester. Is it Kester? Yeah, Kester solder. This is awesome for electronics. This is what I used to do when I was doing R&D. Yep, R&D. I did a lot of research and development when it came to gadgets. Everything from lasers to military applications. I did that. I've had an incredible life. I can't complain, okay? So you put a lot of heat on the top and then bring it down a little bit so that it sucks it down a little bit. Then you just add more solder so that it flows nice and beautiful. Oh my God, I got a perfect little divot. I've got the perfect little divot for like the Venturi, you know, so it looks like it's professional. Ooh, professional. Okay, so you see a little divot. Okay, perfect little divot. Yay! You know what? I'm already turning into a river of sweat. I need to put on my bandana, my band on my face because the sweat is just dripping down. Look at, I got it in my glasses already. See, it is very uncomfortable in here. I need to get my AC system. Okay, I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Ay, ay, ay. 125. Right? Yeah, you can see 125. Okay. So okay, just tightening it up. And now we start drilling. You can find the size jet if you're really fine tuning, okay? If you're not fine tuning, you're just tuning for power, then you would go in 5s. And if you just want to buy a whole bunch of sets, you know, if you know the ballpark where you're going to be running, just get one size bigger and one size smaller. And you might be able to find. So what I want to say by that is you buy 3 sets, one rich, one medium, and one lean. And one of those is going to hit the ballpark on your fueling. But it might be a little stinky because it doesn't, you're not fine tuning. You're tuning for power. You're not tuning for fuel economy, which is what I'm trying to do here. It's going through it. Just go slow, you know. Go all the way down. You want to go all the way down to here because this area will ream it smooth. The inside. There you go. Okay, that's it. Now I'm gonna clean it. The way I clean my jets from both sides, the outer part, is I grab a large drill, like thick one, no matter what size, as long as it's bigger, and you just do this on the top to clean it. Okay, that'll take any shavings that might get in the way. And I do the exact same thing on the other side, on the back. Spin it. That'll clean it up. Okay, one more pass like yay. You see a bunch of little shavings? Okay. Now you do one last ream, and that'll clean up the cleanup that you did. It's like a double cleanup. All the way down. Okay, take it out. That is it. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with all the other ones. Oh, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow it out with the air gun. I'm going to blow this out from this side. The air gun, using the air gun. Just in case, because you don't want any of these shavings in your carburetor because it's going to plug up your your idle. Okay, where was I till I was really interrupted by my daughter? No, that's not. She's girly things with her friends and shit. Anyways, what I noticed is that my Stoich little gauge went from there to about here. Like, there's a very slight difference. Okay, wide open throttle. Okay, originally for power, you want it to be really close to the rich, like somewhere around here. Wide open throttle. Okay, if it goes over a little bit, you're probably still okay. Okay, but we're not tuning for power. Okay, on that gauge, so we're tuning for economy. So I'm sacrificing my smile, my big grin, for fuel economy. I do not want to get too close to the center, so I'm going to go a little bit smaller on my idles again. Or mains. So the difference is this. Okay. I'm going to go down to this. See if you can see that. There you go. 124. Okay. 124 on the mains from 125s. Okay. So I'm going to show you the difference. It's a hair. I mean, this is what I call fine tuning. Okay. Let me get that out of the way. This is a 124, as you just saw. It goes in. Okay. Nice and tight. Okay, she's all the way through. See? Nice and tight. This is 125. 125. Okay. Okay. This one will not go in. See? Will not go in. It's a little entering a little bit, but it will not go through. Okay. See? Will not go through. This one is just 24, 124. See? Goes right through. That's how fine tuning we're doing here. Fine tuning. You can't do that when you buy these at 5 increments. You'll get somewhat of a tuning, but you'll never get the super fine tuning, you know. So you can get fuel economy. Power, I know I'm not going to get it at this range, at 124, because we went from 128s original down to 125s, and so that's 3. We went 3, right? And we lowered it another one to 124s. See how that works out. Fine tuning. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to put it back on the car. Now here's the tip of the day. Okay, tech tip of the day. If you are running carburetors, you know, your IDFs, you know, they're all dirty and stuff. You know that there's a good chance that there might be grit down there or something, you know. It happens. Grit finds its way over here sometimes. Anyways, what you want to do is actually suck all the fuel out from where the emulsion tube and main and air corrector go. those stacks that we were just working on. Okay, you want to suck it out. Sometimes you will get out the biggest little dirt, and it'll keep it from going to your idle, and then you have idle problems. So what I do is always hook up one of these bleeder thingies for your brakes, and then suck it all out. Okay, here she goes. See, saw the fuel coming up. See, going back down. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm sucking out any dirt that might be in there, and it's all going to end up in here. See, I'm going to fill it up. See how it's filling up? Okay, but see, this is because I'm lucky. I have a fuel pump, which is right here. Okay, so it's running right now, and yeah. So I'm going to do the other circuit. Go from that circuit to this circuit and do the exact same thing, because there might be dirt in there. You know what I mean? Let me push that in. Try that again. Alright, that should be enough. And that's the tick for the day. You won't have idling problems with your idles. Because I noticed that for me, when I would take them off, dirt was always going into my idles. And now I have another problem. But since I started doing it this way, I never have that problem ever creeping up on me again and making my life a living hell. Okay, like right there, you can see those little tiny black dots. Okay, we didn't get much out. I don't think that would have affected anything, but I found a lot bigger items like that in my bowl. So I always do that every time I take out my mains and reinsert. I always do the pump. Do the pump, man. And it'll keep you from having a headache. Yep, okay. I'm gonna put this back in the gas tank. Okie dokie. Throwing them in, way in. That's actually Garfield, a movie from Garfield from the 80s. Throw her in, way in. And I think it's they're in Hawaii or something. Anyways, throw it in, way in, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten those, and I'm gonna take off my filters and clean them because they look like shit. Look at that. Man. Man. And my thing is just dirty, man. This is so dirty. Yeah, we already went over this. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and clean those filters before I put the tops back on. And oh, jet sizes. This is for a 2256. Okay, so don't go by what I'm doing. Just watch what I'm doing, and then just mirror it over to your engine. Do not go by my jets, even if you have the same size engine, because your fuel level, the fuel level, might be higher, and you're going to have a different jetting, okay, on the idle and the main. If it's lower, you're probably going to have bigger. If it's, you know, your fuel level is lower, you're going to have bigger jets. If your fuel level is higher in the bowl, then you're going to have leaner jets, you know, smaller jets. It's just go by that. That's the way I do it, because I don't think anybody knows what the level should be. They always go by, oh, let me show you. They go by this. The height from the paper to here, to the very edge right there, it's it has to be between 12 and 14. Usually it's 14 for all the carburetors. I know that the Spanish IDFs, I think they go 12. I'm not really sure. I don't know if that's the 28, the, what do you call it? 40, these are 44s, and the other ones are, I forget, the 40s. 44, the 40 millimeter Spanish one. I'm not really sure if that goes at 12, but I'm not dealing with Spanish. I'm dealing with clones. So that's the problem. Okay, this and this. Okay, you put 14 millimeter. Let's say this one's, we're going to go with 14. Okay. Okay. The problem is that when you do both carburetors, it's not a problem when you're only running a single center carburetor, because you're only using one carburetor. So you can jet for that. The problem is when you have two carburetors, they will not have the same amount of fuel in here. Okay, the difference is you know, it could be right there at 14 millimeters, and the other carburetor will be up here at 14 millimeters. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, and I've never seen anybody post any information on how high the level should be at 14 millimeters, so I don't know. So you know what I mean? No, I'm not gonna ask the Samba because they're asses. But besides, I already jetted mine at a certain level. Mine is right and on that edge right here, like just barely covering up that edge right there. That's where my fuel level are. Okay, so these things on mine, on the Green Bug, the Porsche engine, one of them is like this, that high, and the other carburetor is like way down here. Like this edge is almost touching the paper, like just a hair above, and it's barely giving me that amount of fuel right there. I mean, like right there. Okay, I'm just telling you this because I see a lot of guys that are trying to tune and they can't figure it out. It runs okay, but I'm not, you know, they can't figure it out, and it's because their fuel levels are all over the map. Both carburetors have to be exactly the same. So what you can do is just jerry rig something, you know, and basically when you, let me see how it goes. It goes like that. Jerry rig something, hook it up to here, do a gravity feed, you know, like a little gallon or something, with a hose going down, gravity, and then, you know, let it fill up, you know, disconnect it, take the top off, and measure your fuel on both carburetors, okay? I'm lucky because I have an electric pump, so I can, you know, really easy to do on the car. Okay, but you're out here, let's say you have them out here on the bench before you install them. Always make sure your fuel levels are exactly the same, or your car will never, ever going to be able to tune that car perfectly. You'll get it to run okay, but you're never gonna extract the power out of that engine, maximum power out of that engine, or fuel economy. So, because one of them is always gonna be running rich, the other one's gonna be running lean, okay? You see the problem? Okay, that's the problem. So, I don't know if the problem is only with the clones, and I don't know if the Webers are actually having the same problem, but nobody talks about it. Okay, that's my whole deal. So that's the way I would set up my carburetors. I mean, just the headaches you're going to avoid. I'm rambling. I gotta go. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys soon. I do have the turbo set up for the Bug coming. I already know what I need. So it'll be a V-clamp style exhaust system because I'm going to be installing and removing the exhaust system because this is going to be a daily driver. I am not going to do the typical YouTube installation where the car's down for weeks, months, whatever, until you get it running. No, none of that bullshit. I don't do shit like that. It's like I'm going to be installing it, and then that same day I'm going to go as far as I can, and then I'm going to go back to stock, like boom, 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 you know, take it on, put it on, take it off, on and off, on and off, on and off until I get it all built. And then once I get it running, it'll stay on permanent. So, because that's a daily driver. This is, there's no excuse for it to be like, you know, not running right. I do things very different, okay? I think outside the box. That's just the way I am, creatively speaking. Okay, adios muchachos, adios muchachas. Later, dudes.